Good morning and welcome to New Mexico Rising, your go-to lifestyle show for everything happening right now across the state. I'm Kayla and this week we've got this.
Because I think he realizes after having these 6 months away, he realizes that he probably could have made more of an effort, probably could have done things differently.
I've seen so many kids in elementary school that are not up to par with where they should be at their reading level, and they're even going to reading tutors, and sometimes a pair of glasses or contacts could have made a huge difference just like that.
Yeah, tapeworms, ticks, fleas, they don't go away. In fact, there's a lot of buzz around the fact that this has been an increased tick pressure year with more ticks in more areas.
And so, we were talking about it. We're like, it would be really fun. Let's make a Mr. Bubbles smash kit.
We do believe in that food is medicine, because access to nutritious food is foundational to better health.
All that and more right here on New Mexico Rising.
What happens when somebody who's already built a career in music and business decides to tell a different kind of story? Splash City is a new crime drama set in the city of San Francisco, exploring family, loyalty, and choices that changes a life. Today, we're joined by the film's executive producer, co-writer, and co-director, Berner. Welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
Thank you for having me. I'm feeling good.
It's good to have you here. You've had success in the music business, your own personal business, but Splash City is your first feature film. What made this the right time to tell this story?
I feel like I've already done so much music already. I've already done, I wrote a book, got the New York Times bestseller with my book recently. So I'm like, right now, film makes the most sense. It's like the next level of storytelling for me, I feel like.
And this movie follows two brothers. They're trying to escape a very different paths. What about it, that relationship, that made you want to build a film around it?
I feel like we all know a pair of brothers that go through different things. I have a brother, and I've met multiple brothers that have someone going down the right path, doing the right thing, and then someone just kind of influenced by the wrong crowd, right? It's something we all grew up with, at least if you kind of come from the streets, or you kind of come from a rougher upbringing. So I feel like we wanted to address that. And the whole, period of time in San Francisco where the smash and grab was so real. It was a really big thing for quite some time in SF.
And you centered all of this around San Francisco, and a lot of film and media, we get the Olsen twins from Full House, we maybe get The Room, but you decided to do an authentic approach to attach to that city. What made you do that and why?
I'm born and raised here. I feel like it's missing. You never see the other side of SF. You would either see, like you said, Full House, Mrs. Doubtfire,
you're right.
Old school Cuffs with Christian Slater. It was all great. But one, it's a beautiful city. It deserves to be on camera. And two, there's a whole nother world that no one's even seen before. So that's what we're here for.
You've worn a lot of hats on this project.
Yeah.
You're executive producer, you're writer, co-director. What do you think you learned about filmmaking that surprised you the most?
Everything. I think the biggest thing I learned was you have to have a great line producer. I learned that the hard way. But other than that, I feel like I learned just on how to fund a film, how to run a tight ship to get the shots you need done. I learned a lot about post, mixing, sound design, the whole nine. So I feel like we're gamed all the way up right now.
And a lot of the time, you learn something when you start a film. If you could go back in time, whisper in your ear on day one when you're starting things out, what would be one of the little pieces of advice that you'd give yourself on day one that would make the project, filming, and everything much better or easier?
Probably to focus on the way to preserve the budget a little more. We did this film for $2 million. It looks like a $10 million film, honestly. The quality of it, the way we executed it. But I feel like I could have maybe kept that budget a little tighter. Okay. I should have paid attention a little more to logistics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for any filmmakers out there?
Yeah, just take your time to plot it out. We went head first. We didn't really think about talent's going to stay here. We have to get them over here. We're going to shoot here. And tomorrow, I would rather just get the logistics all the way down first,
Anything that you are working on next that we might be knowing about?
Yeah, I'm working on a scripted series about my life, about cookies and whatnot, so that's going to be tight. It's with a pretty big studio. We'll announce that soon. I'm working on my next feature film. It's like a marijuana trafficking film, and maybe like a urban type horror.
All right, I want to thank you for joining me today. Splash City is available now in select theaters across the country. Please go to their website and check out where you could find Splash City airing near you.
Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
Most of us know healthy food is important, but for many families, getting fresh, nutritious meals isn't always easy. As Lilly celebrates its 150th anniversary, it's supporting organizations that are helping expand access to healthier foods in communities across the country. Joining us are Melissa Coe with Lilly and Martha Hoover, a restaurateur and food access advocate. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, Abby.
Absolutely. Melissa, people may not immediately connect a medicine company with food access. Why is this such an important issue for Lilly?
Yeah, well, thanks for that. Great question. So, for 150 years, Lilly has been focused on helping people live healthier lives. And we know that access to nutritious food is one of the most important drivers of health, which is why we believe in supporting healthier communities through access to nutritious food. And so, across the country, Lilly is working with United Way to identify local community organizations so that together we can help those organizations provide the equivalent of 500,000 meals across 15 communities in the near term. And then we're also going to be supporting long-term infrastructure through expanded cold storage capacity with Hatch for Hunger. And that's going to enable distribution of more than 5 million protein-rich meals annually across 150 food pantries.
And we hear the phrase, food is medicine, more and more. What does that really mean, and how does this initiative reflect Lilly's commitment to helping people live healthier lives?
Yeah. Well, Abby, at Lilly, we do believe in that food is medicine because access to nutritious food is foundational to better health. So while healthcare is still essential and vitally important, we also recognize that many of the factors that influence health within our communities begin with nutrition. So that's why this initiative extends our commitment beyond medicine by supporting organizations that are helping families access fresh produce and protein-rich foods. And those are the kinds of foods that can have a meaningful impact long-term on your health.
And Martha, why does healthy food remain out of reach for so many families?
Well, the key word is access or lack of access. And here there are so many barriers to having access to quality food. One of them is proximity to neighborhood grocery stores. Another barrier to access is availability of transportation. And of course, there's the ultimate barrier of cost. But what we know is that there are over 47 million Americans who experience daily food insecurity, and many of those are children. And most of those families, at some point in this experience of food insecurity, will go to food pantries and to access food. And the problem is if food pantries don't have the availability to refrigerate these remarkable ingredients of protein and fresh produce, then they can't distribute those items. And those items are critical to a healthy diet. So this initiative by Lilly will help food pantries improve their infrastructure so that these items, eggs, meat, fresh fish, produce, can be distributed to people availing themselves of the pantry system.
And how are local organizations working together to help more families access healthier food options?
Well, it is true that if you work together, you get there much more quickly. Organizations are working together, not just organizations, we're also working with governmental agencies and with the help of companies like Lilly, not-for-profits like United Way and Hatch. We can go a lot farther, a lot faster to solve the issue of food insecurity in our communities.
And Melissa, how is this initiative helping address both immediate food needs and long-term access to healthier food?
Yeah, well, as Martha said, the need is great, and families need access to nutritious food today. So that's really why we're supporting both near-term support of access to food with over 500,000 meals across those 15 communities. And then we're also making sure that we're investing in long-term infrastructure through those refrigeration systems. And so again, that's going to really result in the long-term impact well into the future for those communities.
And where can people go for more information?
Sure. So for more information, you can visit go.lilly.com/food or unitedway.org.
Melissa, Martha, thank you so much for joining us today. And the work you're doing is incredible.
Thank you, Abby.
Do you remember how much fun it was to make a mess as a kid? Whether it's your birthday cake or a bubble bath, those moments can become special family memories. Celebrity chef and TV personality Duff Goldman is here to celebrate Mr. Bubble's 65th birthday. Welcome, Duff.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Duff, what's happening there today?
So, Mr. Bubble called and wanted us to make Mr. Bubble's 65th birthday cake, which is a big one, right? That's a milestone, 65. And so, we were talking about it. We're like, it would be really fun. Let's make a Mr. Bubble smash cake.
And okay, smash cakes. Everybody loves them. Why are they a family tradition?
Well, I mean, have you ever smashed a cake?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's super fun. And the thing is like, you got a baby. You put a cake in front of a baby smashes a cake all over itself. You laugh at the baby because it's hilarious. But then you have those pictures for the rest of your life. You have those pictures of that memory that was so potent of a baby tasting chocolate for the first time. You only get your first chocolate once. And when you have photographic evidence, I just think it makes it really, really special.
And you're a dad too. How does messy play help children learn and grow?
I love, one of the things that I appreciate the most about my daughter is she's very naturally curious. And I think part of the reason why she's so curious is I really encourage her to be outside and get dirty and make a mess. There's a lot you can learn from, reading books and watching things on TV. But until you're out in the world and you're interacting with the environment that you're in, that's how you get the best knowledge, right? Empirical knowledge is the best knowledge. And so I think when kids are really encouraged to be bold, be curious, and be a little bit messy, that's when the richness of experience comes in.
And after all the fun, why is cleaning up another good lesson for kids?
I'm a chef, right? I have to have a clean kitchen. My kitchen's a mess. I can't cook right. You're constantly battling the mess and you're just adding to it, chipping away at it. The kitchen should be spotless when you start. When you're going to start cooking, the kitchen should be spotless because you just can't create when your station's messy. My daughter knows this too. When her room is clean, she plays so much better. She has so much more fun. Cleanup is really important for all the fun to be had.
And what's one fun tradition you share with your family?
So we actually love to road trip. We road trip all the time. We're constantly getting out there. We have our national parks pass and, we go to national parks all the time. My daughter's been to so many. She's been to Moab and Zion and Yellowstone and Yosemite, and we're going up to the Redwoods, just in a couple of weeks. So we love getting out there and, hiking around in the dirt and making a big mess.
And where can people go to learn more about the celebration?
So to keep the celebration going, they can go to MrBubbleBirthday.com.
Duff, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Have you noticed more stories about ticks and other parasites lately? Experts say risks for pets are changing, and there are a few things every pet owner should know. Joining us is Dr. Casey Locklear, a veterinarian with Elanco Animal Health. Welcome, Dr. Locklear.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. The New World screwworm was gone from the U.S. for many years. Why has it come back, and should pet owners be worried?
Yeah, so New World screwworm was eradicated in the 1960s, but unfortunately it is back. The movement of cattle, the expansion of wildlife are some of the factors that have contributed to New World screwworm making its way back north, and it recently has reemerged in the United States with cases in Texas, one case in New Mexico. So pet owners definitely should be vigilant about this reemerging parasitic threat.
And it's scary to think your pet may have a parasite. What should people look for, and how fast should they see a veterinarian?
Yes, so first and foremost, if you suspect that your pet could have New World screwworm, contact your veterinarian and seek veterinary care immediately. We do not want to delay treatment against this parasite. So what you're going to look for is a wound, especially an unexpected wound in an otherwise healthy animal. That wound may be enlarging, it could have some discharge, it could have a foul odor, and as gross as this may seem, you might actually notice a sensation of movement in that wound. You may even see maggots, which are the larval stage of New World screwworm. That's what's causing the tissue damage. That's where the parasite gets its name. Those larvae are feeding on the tissue. If you see that, contact your veterinarian immediately. But fortunately, while we should be vigilant, especially in New Mexico and Texas, it's nice to know that our veterinarians do have treatment options available for dogs and cats. For instance, in dogs, Credelio Quattro CA1 is the first and only conditionally approved product for the treatment of New World screwworm infestations. And in cats, there's an emergency use authorized product, Credelio Cat, also for the larval treatment. So there are options available. Make sure you partner with your veterinarian early.
And other parasites like tapeworms, ticks, and fleas, what are the common signs that they may have those?
Yeah, tapeworms, ticks, fleas, they don't go away. In fact, there's a lot of buzz around the fact that this has been an increased tick pressure year with more ticks in more areas. And some signs of that for fleas, it's itching, scratching, really kind of that typical presentation you would think of. Ticks can be trickier. Ticks are a bit stealthy. A lot of times you won't see signs, so you really should be doing a daily tick check on your dog. That's as simple as rifling through the fur, around the base of the ears, between the toes, between their hind legs. And remember, when you're looking for ticks, immature ticks can be as small as the head of a pin, so you could be looking for a very small black speck for a sign of ticks. And then lastly, you asked about tapeworms. A lot of times we don't see clinical signs with tapeworms. So it's important to talk to your veterinarian about having your dog on proactive protection against tapeworms, fleas, and ticks year-round.
And are there places where pets are at higher risk right now?
Absolutely. So when we think about New World screwworm, along the Texas-Mexico border, we really need to be staying vigilant for the spread of that parasite. We should be vigilant across the United States, but particularly vigilant along the Texas-Mexico border. For fleas and ticks, this is a nationwide issue. There are fleas and ticks active across the US. The same thing goes for tapeworms. And then an often overlooked parasite that people usually aren't thinking about, but is certainly important in New Mexico, is heartworm disease. Heartworm disease is active in all 50 states. So every dog should be on a heartworm disease preventive every month of the year, all month long.
And what should pet owners ask their veterinarians to help protect their pets from these parasites?
Yeah, great question. New World screwworm is a great thing to make us really take action for parasites. So go talk to your veterinarian today about broad spectrum parasite coverage. For your dogs, consider asking about Credelio Quattro. It prevents heartworm disease. It treats and controls those fleas and ticks. It controls intestinal parasites, including 3 types of tapeworms. It prevents Lyme disease. So it may be the right option for your dog if your dog's over 8 weeks of age and larger than 3.3 pounds. So I encourage you to talk to your veterinarian today about broad spectrum protection with Credelio Quattro.
And where can people go to learn more?
Yeah, so to learn more about parasites in general, as well as the product, you can visit CredeliaQuattro.com. CredeliaQuattroLabel.com is a great source of safety information and label indications. And looking for New World screwworm, my favorite source of truth is screwworm.gov. That's screwworm.gov. At screwworm.gov, you can see updated case maps. Those maps are updated daily to help you track cases near you.
Dr. Locklear, thank you so much for coming on our show and sharing this important information with us pet owners.
Thank you for having me.
Getting ready for school means checking off a lot of things on the to-do list. One thing many families often forget is an eye exam. Dr. Amanda Nancy is here to explain why healthy vision can make a big difference for students. Welcome.
Thanks so much for having me.
If parents know good vision is important, why aren't more kids getting comprehensive eye exams before school starts?
It's a great question. And as a parent, I think it's just because there are so many things on our list that we have to do to get them ready to go back to school. And I think that if our kids were specifically saying, you know what, I'm not seeing as clearly as I think I should, we would absolutely move it to the top of the list. But most kids don't. And an Alcon survey actually told us that even though 9 out of 10 parents do think that vision is important for academics, we still have a large portion of kids that haven't had exams. And I think that we just need to schedule those so we can be sure that they have, in my opinion, their most important piece of equipment ready to go.
What are some signs that a child may have a vision problem?
The easy ones are squinting, or maybe they're getting closer to the TV or things than they should, or they might even be holding things closer than we'd like them to hold them. But some of the subtle things that can often go unnoticed are just slow declines in performance, even in sports, or I've seen so many kids in elementary school that are not up to par with where they should be at their reading level, and they're even going to reading tutors, and sometimes a pair of glasses or contacts could have made a huge difference just like that. So it's important to get those eyes checked to make sure that they're actually seeing as well as we think that they are.
Some parents think a school vision screening is the same as a comprehensive eye exam. What's the difference, and why is a full eye exam important?
I'll tell you, I do love the school screenings because they end up bringing some kids in that could have been missed that have big problems. But some of the problems get missed because you put a chart on the wall and the kids want to pass a test, right? So they either squint or strain through it and read the letters, or they read it with their good eye and then memorize it and say the line again. Also, if you give them a card to read up close, they might be able to read it right now, but 30 minutes from now, once they start to get fatigued, the letters and the words start to jumble together. When you come in for a comprehensive eye exam, we're going to make sure that we have the exact prescription to make you see clearly and comfortably and efficiently all day. And we check the health of the eyes. There is no replacement for a full dilated eye exam with your eye doctor.
For teens with busy schedules, sports, and lots of screen time, are contact lenses a good option?
They're a great choice. I'm glad you brought it up because I talk to parents all the time that say, oh, my kid's not ready for contact lenses. You know, maybe they don't even keep their room clean. But now we have contacts like Precision One. It's a daily disposable lens. So you literally put a fresh one in the morning, throw it away at the end of the day. So hygiene is much less of a concern. And they keep up with the kids' busy lifestyle. They keep them comfortable and clear, even on hours on the screen. I also love the confidence that can come with a pair of contact lenses. I have kids that have thick glasses that it completely changes their lives, or kids that are just not compliant wearing their glasses at school because they don't want them. It's good for part-time wearers too. So my daughter likes to wear her glasses in class because they're cute, but she is a golfer. So when she goes out on the course, she has OWL that attaches to her bag, and she pulls her contact lenses out and wears them. And it gives that flexibility. And if your doctor doesn't bring it up for your kids, I would hope that you would ask your doctor if your kid's a candidate.
And where can we go for more information?
A great website is myalcon.com/back to school. You can learn more about the contacts, and there's a doctor locator. So if you don't already have an eye care provider near you, you can find one, get that comprehensive, and make sure that your kids are truly ready to go back to school.
Dr. Nancy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Have you ever rooted for two characters to finally figure it out, even though life keeps getting in the way? That's a big part of what has fans coming back to Ransom Canyon. Season 2 picks up 6 months later, and with more questions about love, family, and what home really means. Joining us are the stars of the series, Josh Duhamel and Minka Kelly. Welcome to the show, you two. How are you?
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Season 2 picks up 6 months after the finale without giving anything away. Where do we find Stanton and Quinn emotionally when we see them again?
Well, I think that, you know, if I could take that one, my character is definitely ready to treat this relationship with the care that it deserves. Because I think he realizes after having these 6 months away, he realizes that he probably could have made more of an effort, probably could have done things differently, could have called, could have wrote, could have gone to see her, didn't do any of those things. And I think that he really wants to right the wrongs the past mistakes he's made in this relationship. And then he finds out very quickly after that she moved on, and it's too late, dude.
One of the big themes this season is choosing between the life you built and the life you dreamed about. Minka, what makes Quinn's decision so difficult this time around?
Well, she was in New York for 6 months, and, it's a little easier out of sight, out of mind to romanticize this new life that she could possibly live, and meets this new guy who on paper makes so much sense and says and does all the right things. And then she goes home as she'd always planned, and she's then faced with this new version of Staten that she's wanted from him her whole life. And it's a little too late. So now she's in this predicament of, do I turn my back on this new thing that feels fresh and new and potentially promising, or do I take the opportunity, this chance to fulfill this dream of hers, where she comes home, where she realizes that home isn't just this place, it's this person. And that just becomes so undeniable for her. And home is where the heart is.
And Josh, Staten has always been driven by protecting his family's legacy, but this season seems to put love more at the center of his journey. How does that change him?
Well, I think that the two kind of go hand in hand. The ranch has been so part of him and his family for so long that he sort of conflates the two. Like family, land, legacy are all kind of part of all he cares about, really. And when he loses, sorry, I took this hat from the set, I'm going to take it off. When he loses his family in season 1, he sort of loses his purpose and not really sure how he wants to go forward with the ranch. And I think that there's something happens along the way when, I think it's after she leaves, that he really realizes that he wants to share this with her. He doesn't want to go forward without having Quinn with him. And all of these things sort of come together to give him this purpose to keep going with the ranch and keep doing these things that he's done forever. And without her, there's not really much reason to keep doing it.
Also, the chemistry between the two of you has become one of the biggest reasons fans have embraced the show. What is it like continuing that relationship this season now that the stakes are even higher?
I think this season was really fun exploring this. It's a whole different sort of energy between the two of them. It's like she was gone and was able to just sort of, she went to play with the New York Phil and choose herself and live this new fun life out of sight, out of mind, and have some fun for a little while. And then she comes home to this new version of Staten where he's so light and charming and funny, and this is the love of her life. And so that new dynamic between them is really fun in season 2 to play with and to be genuinely charmed by. And so it's a big difference from season 1 and season 2 in that regard, I think, which is really fun.
Josh, Minka, I really want to thank you for hanging out with me today. Ransom Canyon Season 2 is now available to stream on Netflix. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning.
Thanks for having us.
And that's going to do it for this week's episode of New Mexico Rising. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week on New Mexico Rising.